So Deputy Mayor Appiah began her career in public service as an Assistant Attorney General representing the Department of Children's Services and the Department of Labor in the Tennessee Office of the Attorney General, where she managed a team of attorneys that represented the department in various matters, including state tort actions, federal civil rights actions. And in 2012, Deputy Mayor Appiah began her career in the district government at the Department of Youth Rehabilitation Services, or DYRS, and served in several leadership roles, including Assistant General Counsel, and the Interim Director of Deputy Mayor, and the Interim Director, I should say. Deputy Mayor joined the Office of Deputy Mayor for Public Safety and Justice as Chief of Staff in 2021. We are so thrilled that you are here, and I'm going to turn the mic over to you. So thank you. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Good morning and welcome to DC. It is my distinct privilege to stand here as Deputy Mayor and to welcome you to our city. For those who are visiting us, we consider everybody who's here family, and so we're so grateful that you're here. I have remarks, but this is much like the chief in this way where you kind of feel what's going on in the room. And I have to say to you, like, I'm a very emotional person, and standing up here is actually really emotional for me. I count it the privilege of my life to serve in this role, and it is because of the women, really, and men that I get to lead and serve alongside. But to stand in positions like this, it's heady, and it's a privilege that I do not take lightly. To be in a space with leaders, amongst leaders like you, is humbling. And so thank you for being here. Thank you for everything that you do. You'll hear from the mayor, from our mayor, Mayor Bowser, a bit later, but I want to acknowledge her and her leadership of our city, especially when it comes to public safety and justice. I think that for every woman in here, you know that there are unique challenges to being in leadership generally for everybody, but certainly being a woman in leadership, and certainly being a woman in leadership in public safety. And so we acknowledge the headwinds that come internally and externally, and the intentionality that it took for you all to come here and be with us. And so in the district, we're really fortunate to have a mayor who is an example to us of what it looks like to lead well in the face of significant challenges. Like in 1 year in the district, you know, our mayor, who is the first African-American woman to be elected to 3 4-year terms as a mayor of an American city. But during her time, in a single year, she led us through a global pandemic, a racial reckoning that brought protests and demonstrations here to the district. She led us through an extremely dangerous attack on democracy on January 6th. And that was a year. And so it is a unique challenge that we face. But one of the things that for me is most important about our mayor is that she's a visionary and a champion of us. You know, it is not, I don't think it escapes anyone's attention that when you look at us standing at any public safety event, what you see is our Black woman mayor, our Black woman deputy mayor for public safety and justice, and our Black woman chief. That's not an accident. That takes investment. It takes vision, and it also takes some fortitude, because in our space, there aren't many people who often look like us, and I really appreciate the championing of us. What I want you to feel from us is that regardless of whether there are champions in whatever city you're coming from, this is a space where you'll find champions, and those who will stand shoulder to shoulder with you as we do the critical work that we do. And so in my remarks in kind of the booklet, I wrote a lot about flourishing, which is my word of the year. And so there's a lot that you'll hear about the work that you do, and we appreciate that. But what we hope that you really feel is that this is an investment in who you are as people. Because what I said in there is true, is that we are not just human doings, we're human beings. And so this is a time in which really it's our effort at pouring into you as people, as more than just a position. We appreciate the work that you do, but we really appreciate who you are. And so hopefully at the end of this, you feel refreshed. You feel like you've gotten resources and information, but really you have established relationships that as you leave from here, that you feel like, okay, like we have people in our corner no matter what. And so that's as important to us as anything else. So thank you. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for who you are, because we know that you bring that to the work that you do. It is not unappreciated. It's deeply appreciated by us. And so thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I appreciate it and appreciate your words as well. Our next speaker you may be a little familiar with. I don't know, Chief. Yeah, I don't know. So, Chief Pamela Smith, over 25 years. That's right. Give it up. That's right. Over 25 years of law enforcement experience and a decorated career. You've achieved numerous commendations. And I think we have to also acknowledge your history or your beginnings with the State Parks Police, U.S. Park Police. And now you stand here as one of very few women of color who are holding these positions. Very proud of you. So thank you so much. And I think some of the people in the room know who you are, just a little bit. Because I understand that you really do go in and you want to meet with everybody and you take that time. And so I appreciate taking the time. So please, come up. Please. Thank you, ma'am.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. All right, listen, y'all got to liven this thing up a little bit. We are here to celebrate you. So let's say good morning the way you really would like to say good morning if you were in a club or you know what I'm talking about. But if you were at a basketball game or a baseball game, good morning, ladies. That's what I'm talking about. All right. Thank you so very much for being here. I am truly humbled, and it is certainly a journey to get to this point. But I want to begin first by thanking Deputy Mayor Appiah for her kind words and for being a champion, a true champion and a true advocate for women in law enforcement. Although she sits in a space as a Deputy Mayor of Public Safety and Justice, she has been one of my champions since I've been in this space, and I cannot be more proud to serve alongside her. And also a lot of the things that we do here in the District of Columbia specific to public safety with legislation and laws, Deputy Mayor Appiah is behind it when it comes to making sure that the members of the Metropolitan Police Department are in the forefront, if that makes sense to you, the forefront of making sure that we have good legislation so that we can police the District of Columbia the way we should. And I certainly give honor to her on today. My heart is full, to be honest. I envisioned having a women's conference when I served as the Chief Equity Officer when I first arrived to the Metropolitan Police Department in 2021 after retiring. As the first African-American female chief of police for the U.S. Park Police in the agency's 230-year history. And I say that not to receive applause, but to let somebody know in this room that you can do it too. And then somehow, some way, Mayor Bowser and the team behind making the selection for Chief of Police, I stand today as the first African-American Chief of Police appointed to serve as the Chief of the Metropolitan Police Department in the agency's 163-year history. And today, there is no other place I'd rather be than in this room with the amazing women in law enforcement. And understand, when I say women in law enforcement, it's not just limited to those of us who are sworn police officers, but for our professional staff who are in the grind every single day, making sure that we have what we need in order for us to be successful out on the field. And I want to say thank you and give yourselves a round of applause for being here. And how symbolic is it today that we are in this space during Women's History Month as we observe and celebrate the vital role of women in history across the United States. This is our first women's conference ever held in 163 years at the Metropolitan Police Department. The first. And it is my hope that you will begin to feel the energy of what we're going to provide for you on today. I want to talk about just for a few seconds, when we thought about the theme, and I want to give Angela Simpson and her team, our Chief People and Equity Officer, kudos for coming up with I guess the title or the theme for this particular event: Women Connecting with a Purpose, Learn, Grow, and Thrive. And I say that because I've spent many years, as I'm sure most of you have, attending many conferences across the United States, right? We attend conferences, we sit on panels, we meet people, we network with people, and sometimes when we leave those conferences, we don't feel fulfilled, right? Sometimes we don't, but then sometimes we make that connection, and that's a connection that those connections with women such as yourself in this room can last for an entire lifetime. Short story, in 2017, I had never had the opportunity to meet an African-American female chief of police. Never. I worked for the U.S. Park Police, you know what I'm saying? At that time. Never had I ever, but I had the opportunity to go to NOBLE, the National Organization for Black Law Enforcement Executives, and I met 5 unique women. And I'm not going to go demographics, but 5 unique women. And I was enthralled. As a matter of fact, I was shocked. A little captain from the U.S. Park Police attending this major event in Atlanta, Georgia, and they were all together. And can I call them by name just for a few moments, if you don't mind? Just to tell you what people have done for me in this space as a woman in law enforcement. And remember, I said I was a captain. In the hallway of the event at the Grand Hyatt Hotel, I ran into Sarah Lynn Davis, who's now the Chief of Police for Memphis Police Department. I ran into Miss Vera Bumpers, who's the Chief of Police for Houston Metro Transit, if I'm not mistaken, Police Department. I also ran into the fabulous Miss Danielle Outlaw, who at the time was in Seattle, Washington, as Portland, Oregon, as the Chief of Police. And then I ran into Renee Hall, who was the Chief of Police for Dallas Police Department. And I also ran into Gina Hawkins, who was at the time the Chief of Police for Fayetteville, North Carolina. I'm saying something right now, Police Department. And then I ran into Cassandra Deck Brown, who was the Chief of Police for Raleigh-Durham Police Department. And let me tell you, every single time I ran into those women, they poured into me. On that day, in August of 2017, you know what they said to me? I'm a captain. They said, you could be a chief of police. No, not me. No, that's not for me. And we oftentimes as women, we talk ourselves out of things when people say a prophetic word over us, right? We oftentimes will say, no, not me. But understand, you are the ones that are grinding and hustling and in the grind every single day and every single night. And why not you? Why not you sitting at the helm of an agency that sometimes it may not look like you're supposed to be there, but why not you? Why not you serving an agency that has over 4,000 men and women, and you're the head of that? Why not you? But these women, for every single year that I returned to NOBLE, never spoke to them again. But every time they found their way to ensure that we met each other, whether it was in the hallway, whether it was on the elevator, whether it was in the back of a room someplace, to pour into little old me, a little girl from Pine Bluff, Arkansas. And I say that to say that sometimes, I don't know what you believe in, but I know what I believe in. Sometimes, sometimes the Holy Spirit sends people your way to encourage you and to get you on the right path, and for you not to think so less of ourselves, because we do in this space sometimes. This is a grind every single day. We put this uniform on, we go out there and we serve alongside our male companions, and this is no disrespect to the men, because I've had some great male mentors in my life. Sometimes you females can be pretty rough, to include myself. But we have to know that greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. And as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. I'm not here today because I'm so great and I still look good at 56. But I'm here today because somebody took the time to invest in me. That's why you're here today, because Chief Pamela A. Smith thought it not robbery to bring all of you into, this isn't even about me, to bring all of us into this space so that these women on this panel and other women in this room can pour into you and invest in you. And I'm telling you, when you walk up out of this place on today, don't walk out of here with your head held down. You walk out of here feeling empowered, feeling encouraged to live, to grow, and to thrive. God bless you. I'm excited to have you here. Thank you for showing up for the District of Columbia. Thank you for supporting the Metropolitan Police Department. Thank you for being amazing women in law enforcement. And thank you for doing the work that you do. God bless you and God keep you.